Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to EE Explained for your up-to-date Eastenders news, facts, trivia and episode overviews. Stick around and subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up and comment your thoughts down below. So it's time for your weekly Eastenders episode overview. On Monday, Whitney and Lee are facing problems after the events of Friday night, when Lee allowed himself to get so angry that he raised his hand and hit Whitney. Whitney ran to Bianca's and then returned only to kick Lee out, which forces him to stay with his dad and confess what he's done. Jane tries to get Ian to go for a health check, but he declines and distracts her with the gift of a new wheelchair. But is there something wrong with him? Michelle goes after yet another student, but is stopped just in time by Jay. Speaking of Jay, he discovers the truth behind Roxy's death and is struggling to cope with the fact that she has cocaine in her system at the time of death. And finally, the duff went to Shirley and Mick as she told him to ask Lee to leave Whitney, but will he do it? Tuesday was Valentine's Day and love was in the air, or tension. Yeah, there was a lot of tension between Whitney and Lee. The day started with good intentions as Lee brought back Whitney's wedding rings as a nice gesture, which I must say was very sweet. But Mick has told him about Shirley's idea, and with the words playing on his mind throughout his romantic dinner at Beale's, he eventually decides to bite the bullet and run, leaving a rather hurtful note in an envelope for Whit along with his wedding band. Apart from that, Jack is struggling to keep his blame for Roxy private to help Amy, but he still decided not to put her name on the headstone, and Billy is not happy. Alex and Mads play a cruel joke on Bex as they leave her a hoax Valentine's card, but when she finds out, she's furious with all three, especially Louise. And finally, Michelle's underage toy boy Preston has come to find her, and they share a passionate embrace in the middle of the square. So Thursday's episode was an hour long to make up for no episode on the 20th of February. Louise has taken a shine to Preston, unlike Ben, who seems to dislike him slightly too much. Dot is trying to convince Jack to sort out Ronnie's personal things, while Billy is also telling him that he has to put Roxy's name on the headstone. And with everything piling on top of him, he gets a little bit violent with Billy, but is stopped just in time by his brother Max. Ian is still refusing his health check. Carmel is determined to get the students kicked out of number 18, which, when he succeeds in doing so, Ben and Jay seize the opportunity and, with Kathy's help, put down a deposit. But it's in quite a mess and will require a lot of work. Ian is not happy to hear that the hospital thinks it's time to take Jane off of physiotherapy, and so he pays out for private care. Jack has an emotional scene at Ronnie's grave, but still refuses to acknowledge Roxy. Finally, Mick and Whitney have been desperately trying to track down Lee, who got the duff as he eventually rang saying he needed to see Mick. And on Friday, it's Polish night at the Vic, but Mick's taken a break to go and see Lee, who says he needs to leave or his depression will control him, so he's going to stay in Dover. He comes back to tell Whitney that she can't come with him, leading to her not even saying goodbye and telling him to just go, which I'm sure she'll regret later. Michelle has officially ended things with Preston, who finally gets eyed up by someone his own age, that person being Bex, after Louise tells her she needs to get over Shaquille. Kim is in full party planning mode for Pearl, but Denise has other things on her mind. It's her next social worker appointment soon, and she's worried about the baby's progress and what Kim will say when she finds out that it's not too late to back out of the adoption. Finally, Polish night nearly went completely out the window when a health inspector showed up after a food poisoning complaint, horrified to see a rat in the kitchen. She gives Shirley 24 hours to sort it out, but all the food they've already prepared must be thrown away. But then Conrad, the Polish chef, turns the whole night around into a Polish snack night, and they turned a tidy profit. But will Shirley be able to sort the kitchen out on time? And that's all for your weekly Eastenders overview from the 13th to the 17th of February 2017. If you'd like to catch up on these episodes, they're available now on the BBC iPlayer. Eastenders continues Tuesday the 21st of February at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One.